Ahoy mateys! Get ready because today we're sailing to the wacky and offbeat city of Stormalong Harbor and meeting the citizens who inhabit its docks. The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack was a show known for its strange sense of humor, and this strangeness certainly made its way into the characters. With a cast this wild and zany, how can we not take a look at them? Sit back and grab some candy as we figure out the most noble heroes and vile villains. Hey guys, I'm Brad with Wicked Binge, and this is the Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, Good to Evil. We'll be starting with the most pure character and working our way down. These adventurers are good. The gold medal of good goes to Bubby, everyone's favorite blue whale. While she's probably not the first character that comes to mind when you think Flapjack and kind-hearted, she has the most positive traits out of anyone in the series. For one, she's caring. She gave Flapjack a home and a family when he was lost at sea as a baby. Later, she did the same thing for Captain Knuckles when he was in a similar predicament. She'll also help out many of Flapjack's friends, like when she let the sea urchins live inside her for a night. Bubby is also comforting and a great mother figure to Flapjack. She keeps him out of harm's way and gives him a boost of confidence when he's down in the dumps. In addition, Bubby can be forgiving. While she finds herself at odds with Knuckles and the influence he has on her baby, she still sees him as part of her family and frequently forgives him. Her only real bad trait is that she likes to peep on the citizens of Stormalong. Thankfully, she learns the error of her ways after Flapjack confronts her about it. Bubby is the nicest character in the show and deserves first place. In second place is Flapjack. Flapjack is one of the most pure characters in the series. This is evidenced by how he interacts with others. He's well-liked and is frequently called upon when others are in need. Flapjack is helpful to all, even those who try to destroy him. In one episode, he encounters a monster on an island named Cammy and becomes her first friend. He also started a minor friendship with 8-Armed Willy, one of the most dangerous creatures of the sea. Flapjack sees the good in everyone, a trait he most likely inherited from Bubby. While Bubby is a positive influence on Flapjack, his relationship with Knuckles can be seen as negative. He will do almost anything the captain says. If he wants him to steal, he'll do it. If he wants Flapjack to break into a place, he'll do that too. Flapjack is impressionable, a trait that often leads him into hijinks. One episode saw Flapjack adopt a duck to be his baby brother, after Knuckles told Flapjack he was a baby. Another episode involved Flapjack spending an entire day trying to make enemies because he was told it was the mark of a true adventurer. He even had him release a bunch of criminals into Stormalong who then demolished the city. Despite his flaws, he always means well, and he never sets out to cause harm. He wants to be everyone's friend. That's why he earns our silver medal of good. For the bronze, we have Tee-Hee Tummy Tums. While his mask may seem to be ripped straight out of a low-budget horror movie, don't let that fool ya. Tee-Hee is the poster boy for the saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover." Underneath that bag is the most beautiful man in the world, as the people of Stormalong say in reaction to it. He's a kind man. He donates combs in a dish for the city's people, who then give him candy in return. He wants his family to be well off and for people to see worth in the combs he sells. When his unmasking catches the attention of the people, as well as their wallets, he thanks Flapjack for helping him learn to open himself up to others. While he is undoubtedly a good man, he only appeared in one episode. Despite the lack of screen time, Tee-Hee Tummy Tums remains one of the kindest members of the Flapjack cast and earns an appropriate spot in third place. Next is Lolly Poop Deck. Lolly's one of the more notable minor characters. He works as a comedian and always has a bucket in each hand. He's motivated primarily by just wanting to make people laugh. Lolly is also a friendly resident. He gets along with others and even dates Bubby in one episode. Unfortunately, his kindness is not reciprocated. Many of the other citizens would rather laugh at him instead of with him. He becomes the laughingstock in the city. His mother abandons him when she hears of his desire to become a comedian, prompting her to strip his true family name from him. Lolly is like the show's sad clown. Even with the sadness he harbors inside, he remains one of the nicest people in the series. Rounding out the good characters is the Professor, a minor character whose name we actually don't know. The Professor is a creator of aerial vehicles. Additionally, he's the brother of the inventor and the father to Sally Syrup. The Professor is a caring man. He loves his work and never lets his failures get to him. He sees the beauty in everyone and everything, too. In his debut episode, he falls in love with Bubby. He even sets out to grant her wish of being able to fly, building her a grand flying contraption. The ship flies successfully, and although Bubby doesn't share the same feelings, he's okay with being just friends. He's only in fourth place because of his messy relationship with his brother. Those two do not get along and will destroy each other's inventions, so the professor may have a dark side to him. If he can create buttons that destroy things with one press, perhaps he has even more dangerous tools at his disposal. One can only think about what inventions he has hidden from the rest of the world. Time's up for the good characters. We're now moving into neutral territory. These characters aren't good, but they aren't evil either. This is the gray area. First, we have Peppermint Larry. Larry has a lot of good going for him. For one, he likes to make people laugh. He's always telling jokes, putting on shows, and finding ways to entertain the people of Stormalong. His jokes are so loved, he can use them as currency in exchange for candy. He's also friendly and helpful. He became a mentor to Flapjack when he taught him how to tell good jokes. He even becomes the Santa Claus of the series, after being tasked with giving gifts to the people in the holiday special. However, Larry has several negative qualities that put him in the beginning of the gray area. He is the opportunist. He uses Flapjack and his stories as inspiration for a mean-spirited puppet show involving a character named Pancake, who absolutely has nothing to do with Flapjack. While he does act nice to Flapjack, he calls him an idiot when he's not around. His character can be perfectly personified in his relationship with Candy Wife. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, and always crazy. We should also delve deeper into their relationship. While he loves her to pieces, no pun intended, he can be overprotective. If he so much as thinks someone is interested in her, he will get confrontational with them. Despite his love for her, they fight often, and she even accuses him of cheating. Also, we have to mention he once did a puppet show with dead rats and will reuse candy wrappers when money's down. That may not be evil or anything like that, but it is certainly gross. Up next is Sally Syrup, the daughter of the professor and Flapjack's possible love interest. Sally Syrup can be good if she desires to be. She gets along well with Flapjack, and the two get in plenty of adventures together. When a plague of blood gnats broke out in Stormalong Harbor, she helped Flapjack lure them away from the people, saving them. She also gets along with Flapjack, and the two have plenty of fun when they are together. Unfortunately, Sally has an interesting view of fun, and for her, fun comes largely from seeing others angry. She has a mean sense of humor. She laughs at Lollypoopdeck when she spies on him in his home talking to Buckets. She writes nasty messages in candy wrappers given to patrons of the Candy Barrel. They react, of course, harshly towards Peppermint Larry. One message Flapjack writes even angers a pirate so much he attempts to blow up the Candy Barrel with his ship. It must be noted that the blood gnat infestation was started from a shell she gifted Flapjack, meaning she may have known all along what was inside and saw it as a prank. Despite her troublemaking ways, she apologizes when things get out of hand and will show gratitude for those she cares about, namely her father and Flapjack. She's chaotic, and that gets her a spot in the gray area. Next, we have the ideal adventurer, Captain Knuckles. From the first handful of episodes, we get the idea of who Knuckles is. To put it simply, he's a jerk with a heart of gold. Captain Knuckles is motivated by one thing: candy. He's addicted. One episode had him get so addicted that he almost ate Flapjack, thinking he was a piece of candy. He'll go to great lengths to get candy. In an episode where Peppermint Larry promised a large sum of candy to him and Flapjack if they found a specific wrapper, Knuckles stole the wrapper from him and was content with hoarding the candy for himself. He would also convince Flapjack to stow away with him on board ships heading for Candied Island. He'll do anything for candy. Anything, that is, except for working. Knuckles is lazy, and most episodes begin with him asleep somewhere. Cap'n is also a liar and a thief. He frequently bends the truth of old stories he tells Flapjack, hoping to make himself look like a better adventurer than he is. He's stolen candy, boots, clothes, you name it. Cap'n sounds pretty terrible, but he has a lot of good within his heart. Despite being at odds with Bubby and even Flapjack on occasion, he values their companionship. Once, while under the influence of candy, admitted he loved them. He's able to have feelings for others and has fallen in love on more than one occasion. Knuckles can also realize when he's made a mistake and goes to great lengths to repair his relationship with Flapjack when things go wrong. 2 episodes saw him fight another character in an attempt to win Flapjack back from his servitude under them. He's like a father to Flapjack. He may not be the best person qualified for that role, but Flapjack doesn't mind. Next is Dr. Barber, Stormalong's most notable doctor, and actually he's also their most notable barber. Dr. Barber is a hard character to figure out. We say this because we're not entirely sure what motivates him to do what he does. In some episodes, he seems to care for those he treats. When a rat Flapjack befriends causes an outbreak of the plague in the city, Dr. Barber steps in to create a cure, saving the city. The episode Candy Colleague has him fall into a depression after nobody comes to him for help. However, there are a lot of other times where it seems like he finds an almost sadistic pleasure in his job. It's as if he sees his patients as his creations, which he's free to do whatever he wishes to. He took a dead fish's head and hair from a customer to create a fish monster creature. His office is full of creepy items. One door contains a skeleton, his mother resides in his drawer, and he has a monster underneath the office which feeds on the hair he cuts. Dr. Barber will also steal, like when he stole a mat from Flapjack and Knuckles. His barbershop quartet sings of him as a thieving barber. He's in the gray because he's the most unpredictable character. Finishing off the gray area, we have 8-Armed Willy. Willy has a lot of evil accomplishments tied to his name. He's considered one of the most vicious sea creatures, and no adventurer has ever defeated him. That all changes when he meets Flapjack, who brings him back to Stormalong, captured and defeated. Speaking of Flapjack, 8-Armed Willy actually has a good relationship with him, and this is after their battle. Willy is surprisingly nice. He loves to sing and is very generous. After Stormalong suffers an ink shortage, he's happy to offer his aid and says he would have never attacked Flapjack if he just asked. While he has evil qualities, he has enough positive qualities to keep him in the gray area. 8-Armed Willy is proof that even the most dangerous and scary people can have a good side. That is, so long as you're polite. Say goodbye to the gray area. Now we're on to the residents of Stormalong you'd be better off ignoring. These characters are bad to evil. First off, it's Thomas Hatch. Throughout the show's run, one set of characters that consistently popped up were the sailors. There were 3, Satch, Patch, and Thomas Hatch. As he had the most screen time, we'll be looking at Thomas. While all the sailors are pretty nasty, Hatch outdoes them all. Hatch gets so angry, even his friends ask him to take it down a notch. Once, after believing Flapjack was a girl pretending to be a boy, he was so offended, he attempted to fight Knuckles. Thomas is also one of the few characters to dislike Flapjack, something almost unheard of in this list until now. When he and Flapjack trade lives, his fellow sailors describe him to Flapjack as a man who complains a lot and acts like a jerk. As Flapjack attempts to imitate him, Hatch's captain actually believes that Flapjack pretending to be Hatch is an improvement to the real deal. While that happens, Thomas is content with pretending to be Flapjack, but for selfish reasons. He likes being him because he can live a life where he is just lazy. As shown in the episode, he sleeps in Bubby's mouth and waits on them to serve him treats. While Thomas is not the most evil person in Stormalong, he definitely has enough attributes to get him on the list. Next is the richest lady in all of Stormalong, Lady Nickelbottoms. Lady Nickelbottoms is only focused on 2 things in her extravagant life: beauty and candy. She's concerned with the appearance of things and wants everyone to be as well-mannered as she is. She only cared for Flapjack when he was taught by her to be a proper gentleman. Besides that, she shows little care for him, or for anyone else who doesn't fit her views of how people are supposed to act. Remember when we mentioned Lollypoopdeck had a mother who abandoned him when he turned to a career of comedy? Yep, this is her. She also shows little regard for her butler, Charles. She actually values her pet dog more than him. The biggest reason we're putting her in the bad category is because of her appearance in the holiday episode. She's one of the many citizens hiding out during the holiday, as naughty residents are attacked by mermen when the day comes. Unlike Knuckles, who works to mend his ways and become good, Nickelbottoms makes no attempt to do any of the sort. That reason, coupled with everything else, earns her a spot on the bad list. The silver medal goes to Stormalong's law enforcer, the Dock Hag. Dock Hag earns her high ranking on the evil list for several reasons. For one, she is disliked by almost all of Stormalong. When Peppermint Larry made a puppet of her for his show, the audience roared with laughter, especially as Larry described her as a person nobody liked. Though the people may not like her, she likes them even less. While most of Stormalong gets along well with Flapjack, she described him as the ugliest kid she's ever seen. Doc Hag loves to abuse her power. She'll hand out tickets for basically no reason. She loves to hand them out to Knuckles, and will do so just to fill her quota. She'll even hand out tickets to the birds. She mostly finds satisfaction in the misery of others. The only character she seems to have any warm feelings for is, weirdly enough, Knuckles. She actually has a doll of him made out of nothing but tickets which she talks with. Other than that, she has no good qualities. This is one Doc Hag you don't want to get on the wrong side of. The gold medal of villainy goes to the Inventor. This character only appeared a few times in the run of the series, but he certainly outdid everyone else in the evil department. He is, as mentioned earlier, the brother of the Professor. However, while his brother is loving and thoughtful, the Inventor is cold and calculating. Even his home, the magical undersea layer, reeks of villainy. The Inventor specializes in underwater vehicles, but all of his inventions hide a dark truth. Each one of his inventions are powered by children who are enslaved by them. They do everything for him, and all he does to repay them is giving short breaks. Even the cannons to his vehicles shoot children. When his vehicle enters a race against Bubby the Whale, they're shot out to knock Bubby out of the competition. This also shows he's not above cheating. In the end, he loses the race, as well as the children in his service. But he never makes a choice to mend his ways. He's at odds with his brother, and even when it seems as if he will make up with him, he backstabs him by destroying his vehicle. Maybe he's a little jealous his brother could create vehicles that didn't need to be powered by children. Regardless, the Inventor seems like a character totally uninterested in changing. He would rather take advantage of others to further accumulate wealth for himself, and that's just fine by him. That is why we rank him as the most evil character. Alright, that's the list. Who do you think is the most evil character in the marvelous misadventures of Flapjack? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and binge our Good to Evil playlist, where we break down the morality of the characters in your favorite cartoons, shows, and movies. But most importantly, stay wicked.